I have a I had a loan means debt. I used to have a big debt. You can't even value that debt. Why? Because I had a huge leadership debt. Always I used to think, sorry. Always I used to think I'm trying to avoid or I'm trying to skip the confronting part. Many a times I've literally skipped or like avoided confronting because I'm not thinking through about my future execution. The people who are reporting, the employees, their future execution by paying a high interest rate. How? Simple. That I used to always think that what if I'll become a sponge? I'll start absorbing their emotions. I used to have these four types of issues with me. The first issue was cultural debt, which I have paid a lot. We'll try to discuss that as well. The second debt, which I used to always get a huge problem with, it is communication debt. The third huge problem, which I used to always go through, is process debt. The fourth is that decision debt. These four categories used to make me a weak leader. As a leadership architect, I've understood one thing, that these leadership debt have been the fundamentals of every leader, whosoever is going through a different phases as a leader. You're making your employees slow. No, no, no. You're making your employees weak. Whenever you are postponing a decision, you're looking bad in the eyes of your high performers. You're just delaying the whole decision. Whenever you're becoming a shield for the weakest performing employees, you're again and again becoming a person who is becoming a sponge, and you're under the trap of loyalty. The fourth biggest problem every high performing employee notices in you, it is that one thing which we always say, you being a procrastinator on decision making. It is such a huge truth. We will start dissecting all these different categories and how we can start coming out of it. We'll also start seeing it. How? We'll have a discussion on this leadership topic. Namaskara, Nan Shiv Kumar. We are here today with on a channel Leadership with Shiva. First and foremost thing, what we are facing a huge issue is that always avoiding confronting the first basic problem of culture, culture debt. This is the most common debt every leader, entrepreneur, startup founder, any VP. This is how, this is how normally the leadership also breaks. This is how the leadership also normally breaks. So, culture debt, what does it mean? Culture debt is a simple thing which can be termed in a way that there are toxic employees in your organization. Employees or professionals. So, these employees are creating suffocating environment for others to perform. You're just inhabiting them in the whole culture of a system. As I've always advocated, culture builds the team. If an organization, if any establishments need to thrive, then culture needs to be built. Culture builds the team. That is period. And you being a sponge, You being a sponge to all these different feelings. It is posing you as, it is projecting you as a person who just absorbs everything. So what does it mean? It means that you are a sponge, you're not a compass. So I highly advise every leader should start following a method of being a repellent. Chaos, emotions, feelings, right? Or problems or issues. You should start becoming a repellent to these cultural issues. Culture is the key to building a team. If there are toxic employees, they just starts infesting and also infecting the people who are your backbone, the high performing employees. As you start becoming a cushion to these employees, they'll start thinking that my leader is not that worthy to follow. It always comes down to follow. Every time we are not understanding, follow is the category. If you are forgetting the very point of the reportees or the people who are trying to report to you, if they have not followed you, means the decision starts taking a deroute. The second most important debt which we all go through is communication debt. Communication debt, as per multiple reports, I can name it. The top reports have always SHRM report, wavelength report, CLS report, Gartner, Deloitte, Salford. Everybody have written that communication is getting lost. Communication is not followed in most of the leaders. The most problematic feature of a leader, the most searched problem of a leader is also communication. In one of the reports of Google Oxygen project, it told after the being a good coach, it should be communicator. Means either it can be the first quality of a leader or it can be second quality of a leader. Most of the leaders are lacking this very same. They're lacking the very same quality to become a good communicator. What is happening that you are taking a decision and you're thinking that it is getting conveyed, but you're making lots and lots of same efforts on and on and on and on. The picture what you're trying to give is not getting corroborated. This picture is not the same as what you give. It is not correlating. The times when you are, whenever you're trying to shift your communication as a secondary priority, it will not yield you a good result, because high performing employees will lose the track of what you're trying to convey. Your weakest employees you're trying to safeguard. You're trying to shield your weakest employees through making a bad communication. Your high performing employees, they feel that, okay, my leader, my guardian is not taking care of me. And a lot of misconceptions or friction will happen. Why is that so? The friction is going to happen because of the very same reason, that information leakage, architectural leakage, structural integrity leakage, decision integrity leakage. If you're not a good communicator, automatically your logic will go away, your decision will go away, the structure will go away, eventually your architecture will also go away. It looks simple, it looks so silly, but communication is a vital key skill in any point in time. The synergy with AI or a synergy with the team, anybody for that matter, it can only happen through what we speak, through what we decide. That's what matters. If you are not following the art of communication, if you are not following the very presentability of the communication, you lose the track, because the vague the communication, the more here, the vague communication, abstract is the idea. It never gets conveyed. Team will be under blank. They go blank. They'll not see the vision. The third most important debt is your process debt. First is the culture, second is your communication. Now coming to the process debt. Process debt, it's a classic thing which we have always done. As a leader, we have all done this. Whenever a person makes a mistake, we'll try softening the whole mood. One thing always, most of the leaders, I'm not telling you should become shrewd, you should lose your humble nature, you should start showing your a different variant face, nothing of that sort. I am trying to tell you here, don't become that empathetic leader who starts covering up for the whole employee's mistake. If one employee has made a mistake, all of them have to inherit the punishment. One employee sends a wrong statement, it is as good as that the whole team needs to start working for 3 4 days to cover up the whole issue. If you're not setting the lines clear, if you're not giving a clear cut norm or like strict instructions, you will not be able to see the efficiency. Peter Drucker, the father of management, has said the same thing on and on and on and on. Efficiency is effectiveness. We forget that efficiency is the key for any organizations to function, be it a government organization, be it a private organization, be it a charity organization, be it anything. We forget that efficiency can be such a decision maker. One person has made a mistake. What about the whole team not understanding the severity of it or criticality of it? If you're not giving the instructions, if you're not giving the review, then and there itself, if you're just going to wait for after 3 months, after tomorrow, after 2 weeks, or 1 month, then you're just delaying the whole team's performance to start decaying. It starts decaying. I'm not being this regular leadership coach where they'll start giving this etc. gyan. I'm that leadership architect who is trying to make you to become a better leader. I want you to level up your skills. There are four types of leaders: efficient leader, effective leader, impressive leader, inspiring leader. See, we have inspiring leaders as such. I'll also tell you one story regarding one inspiring story of Ford's CEO, former CEO Alan Mulally. I'll tell his story also. I can also tell you that there are multiple inspiring leaders whom you might have seen across the board. Okay. Efficiency leader is that the person who starts driving the results for the organization. Efficient leaders sometimes they can also be a toxic leader. As we have seen in the previous live stream of ours, toxic leader needs to be avoided. Okay. Effective leader is the one who people think at least 20-30% or 50% of the time people starts following the leader. Like most of the time he is that one leader people will start looking to. Impressive leader is that, okay, he's my leader, yeah. That is your impressive leader. Means he did some decision, he took some decisions. The decision ownership was all throughout the day. Leaders are the one who always they don't budge for loyalty. They just on point. They'll take the decision. They'll not wait for things to happen after a week or so. The urgency of decision they'll always think of. They'll always act on like short information. It is leadership is not at all a soft skill. People term that as a soft skill. It is not at all. It is a rare skill. It's a behavior. If I'm a leader, means I've been showing myself as a leader. I've always told that if you're ready to get misjudged, if you're going to get be alone, if you're not going to budge for this less performance, then you're through. You're going to start off as a leader. You are responsible about yourself. Then also you're a leader. So these are the qualities which makes a leader great. I just wanted you guys to understand a case study which I've been wanting to say that. I've been daring to say this. The case study is a simple case study. It is this case study is about Ford's declining revenue to thunderous revenue. Ford company, the motor company, they had around $12.7 billion loss. They were at a loss of 12.7 billion. That's a staggering number. The staggering number is that $12.7 billion. What happened? Alan Mulally. Alan Mulally was made the CEO of Ford for that company on that particular year. So he was such a thinker, such an impressive and inspiring leader. Because just think, no, that $12.7 billion means across the sectors leaking. 12.7 is a staggering number. And how they came out like a phoenix, it's an impressive story. So what Alan Mulally made, Alan Mulally told all the managers, we'll take a meeting every Thursday. Every Thursday, we'll take a meeting. We're going to do an activity called red, yellow, green. Means I'll start showing the sign in every Thursday's meeting. All the managers will start connecting. We'll say what is the green event, green signal what we got from our this week, what is that yellow signal which we got from this week, and what is the red signal which we got from this week. Everybody thought, what is this traffic signal he's talking about? I'm not able to get that. Why am I feeling like this? That they felt for first week, they felt that they came, they all started like, uh, creating stories or like cooking up some stories. They started doing that. Post that, what happened? Eventually, that on the third week, one manager told, I had a red signal. This is what is happening in my week and also in my team. As soon as he told that, actually, for telling the problem of a team, some leaders they always happen to fire a person, fire or reject or punish a person. But Alan Mulally didn't do that. He was never that person. He is not that inspiring leader, that thought process, what always Simon Sinek says. Start with why. You should be an inspiring leader. No, 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 no. He had his instructions and fundamentals cutthroat clear. Be empathetic, be dependent. No, no, no. He told who can help this manager. Everybody were like aghasted. Everybody were shocked that how how Alan Mulally made this whole managers to feel enthusiastic, zealous, the newfound energy. How? Because and why? Because that all these managers were hiding the problems. The process was leaking. The decision was leaking. The fundamentals, the architecture was leaking. None of the leaders had the courage, the grit to come out and to speak in front. Because of this, the leaders started feeling okay, we can voice out now. We can. The leaders, they themselves are feeling shy. I should not say, I should not be able to convey this. So then what happened? Ford for that year, positive revenue from 12.7 minus 12.7 to positive revenue. That is Alan Mulally for you. So, an inspiring leader, he always leads the way. As I've told at the start, you're not making people to go slow, you're making them to become weak. Every approval you add, every decision you delay, you start postponing, you're just pushing it, and you becoming a shield to your weakest employees. You're going down in front of the highest performing employees, and you are making the highest performing employees to work for weakest employees. One of the one of the main things what I've learned from my mentor and from my dad also, that he told that Shiva, that leadership is not about you hiring the best of the people. You're going to hire the best of the people, but if you're going to retain your weakest employees in spite of giving multiple chances, they will drag you down. You're not a good leader then. There is nothing called as somebody is like poor. See, poor in mindset can be changed. Poor in efforts can be changed. Poor in not taking efforts, you can't change that person. There is a saying, you can try waking up a person who is sleeping. You can't try waking up a person who is faking to sleep. So this is such a good proverb. That's what I've understood over a point in time as a leadership architect, that many a times we are not seeing a clear picture. The fourth is that decision debt. Decision debt. What does this mean? Decision debt is that we are not taking the decision at the very instant. Leadership is about you taking the decision in uncertainty. How many times have we taken a decision in uncertain area? My Navy friend, he always told me that Shiva, I get into a lot of trouble because Navy is such a stressful and adventurous and strenuous job. It is not an easy job. He is a lieutenant He reports to the commanders. Whenever the commander gives him that directions, as I told, leadership is about you acting in uncertainty. You'll not have information, you will not have adequate information. Sometimes people will take leadership to their ego. You can't achieve anything by ego. You want to become that soft boss, liked by everybody. It can't happen. I can't be good to all 10 of my fingers. All 10 fingers are different. So, whatever the decisions I am taking, it all affects everybody. But my purpose is clear. If everybody are taken into account, then inclusivity always helps. Shiva, that this is what the exact sentence he told to me. Shiva, that every time my commander gives me an assignment or a project, or like even you can say that it's an operation, I take it with open arms because I can start challenging myself, Shiva. I can start challenging myself how better I can make this to work. I'll start questioning my whole liberty, whole leadership ideas into it. I'll go and speak with my team. They'll all listen to me. If somebody has an opinion, I'll ask them. I'll not go for consensus. He always says that I'm not waiting for consensus. Consensus is the death trap. Consensus is literally a death trap. Why all the decisions need to go through everybody? Are you the leader or are they the leader? Who is the leader here? So it is best to always convey the best possible way. Okay. He told me this and I was just having a glance. Okay, this is what it means. In Navy and all, there is no second option. If you're just tilting one wrong move, if you're just moving to another section of it, gone. The whole team and the soup. Or don't. More horrific thing will be that it's life and death. But in normal case scenario, as we are all working at different organizations, or like we are a leadership, we are at a different positions, we all look forward for an efficiency. So if you start pushing, if you start postponing your decisions, you can't do much. You can't do anything. So you need to start taking decisions as early or as fast as possible. Now we are going to have a discussion regarding my one of the major thing which I wanted to talk about. It is Google Oxygen project. We'll have a discussion on different topics. For today, I want you guys to level up yourself so that we can have a better outcome post this session. Google had conducted a survey internally with all of their employees because they were thinking that this is a software company or it's a technology company. Mainly, it isn't like internet searching company, right? So these technical executives also need to become good leaders. How they can start becoming a good leader through multiple variants, multiple qualities. As I told, leadership, Google also understood that leadership is not a soft skill. It can't be built like a soft skill. Leadership is a behavior. A leader should become a good idol. One of the major thing what Google observed that all of their pointers indicated towards be a good coach. So next, the second thing what they have understood is empower the team. The third one they have thought about is building the environment. The first three things which I want to discuss about is be a good coach or a guide or a mentor. As I've had a successful mentor in business and life, he used to ask me the same thing. He used to tell me also, Shiva, that leadership, if you think that if I'm being more toxic and strict, I'll be able to drive the result, you can drive the results. If you're going to be like humble and if you're pleading the people, sometimes it might also work out, Shiva. Shiva, that once you look back as a person, who were you? Are you the same person whom you're trying to project? If you it is a different person, means you're not being honest about yourself. Shiva, that is not the correct way to lead the team. A good coach is always make sure that the team plays in a right manner. We have had multiple coaches like that. Even if you take in cricket, we have had India had seen Greg Chappell where he took it to the next level. You can take Kirsten, South Africa's Larry Kirsten. So he happens to make India to win the World Cup, right? So you can see multiple coaches of that sort. Even you can see that Rahul Dravid has been a coach where he is trying to direct youngsters to reach the next potential. So a coach will always know the potential, inner potential of every executive, every employees, or every officials, everybody, every individuals per se. So a coach will always have an idea what needs to be done and when to push that person or when to trigger the same button. So the second one is that every team member happens to go through that one problem of empowering the team. I want my coach, I want my leader to empower me. I don't want my leader to start micromanaging me. Every leader always understands this, that why am I having this leader who always tries to ask me every decision, everything? Okay, you want to take this pen? Ask me. You want to purchase this? Ask me. If you want to hire somebody, ask me. Then what is the point in me being that manager or me being that individual person? Leaders being micromanagers, it is such a bad quality. You need to start delegating the work, decentralize the whole process. If you're just building a process for one person's mistake, you are wrong. A leader sees a vision. A leader always will have a clarity. Leaders always fail at being a good delegator. You're just pushing all the work to the low performing employees or weak employees, right? So, what does it mean? You are literally shrinking the whole team, like killing the team actually. That's the main thing what is happening now. The third thing being that inclusivity. Inclusivity, why? Employees are feeling that I'm not included in the team. I'm not part of the team because they're feeling isolated. The more the days they're trying to spend, the team is not having a correlation. The highest performing employees are feeling that. Then you're seeing the team sinking into a different well. Why that matters? Because it is just like a virus. One employee starts feeling left out. One employee starts feeling there is no inclusivity. I'm not included. I'm not part of the team's culture. He or she will always starts infesting the same thing to others. It is very much true. It has happened, it has been happening, it will happen. So inclusivity in the environment is highly sought out. Means you need to start taking care of your employees. As I've told, if a mistake has happened, it has happened, and if you watch, if the employees are feeling, the reportees are feeling that they're left out, it happened under your watch. It is very much true. It happened under your watch. That's that is the point. That is a clear-cut thing. The fourth one being that most of the employees want their leaders to also to be productive. Gone are the times that employees used to feel that my manager or my leader, he or she doesn't have an idea or something. So here, every manager or leader should also be productive enough to think that what is happening. It is not like you came, you punched, and you went off. You just took some appreciation. No, if you're just stealing the appreciation from your employees, you're such a toxic boss. Also, you not being productive, you not being attentive, it also affects the team. Very much true. The fifth one is always, as I've told, communication. Most of the employees, they want the leader to communicate the things clearly, because the vision gets scattered, the ideas get scattered, lots and lots of doubts will start arising, lots of replies, opinions will start erupting. So for that, you need a clear cut direction through communication. As I've told, multiple reports have suggested the same thing. The most sought out quality is a leader. Quality of a leader is communication, period. This one more thing is that leaders should have a strategy or a vision. Literally, this is a period statement from Google's Oxygen project. I can give you a classic example of Sundar Pichai. Sundar Pichai happens to get recruited as a project manager for Chrome at Google back in the day, 10, 15 years back. He started proving the strategies, the vision for Google as a Chrome. Chrome happens to be the most dominant product of Google till date. You can see you might be using Microsoft Edge, you might be using Apple's search engine, you might be using Firefox. What are the complete market share out of all means for all these browsers? No, Chrome is the default browser, and the features or the benefits of Chrome being that it's under the leadership of Sundar Pichai. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, Eric Schmidt, they've all seen that rare quality, rare behavior of a leader in Sundar Pichai. They could have made anybody. Even Nikesh Arora was actually one of the chief business officers back in the day in Google. He was one of the top contenders, but the situation turned out that Sundar Pichai happens to be that one person. But Nikesh Arora himself, he himself is also a success story. That he happens to go to SoftBank. Then he is now taking care of the networking company. Such a drastic leadership thing. As I've told, don't chase the money, chase the value, create the value. Creation of value is the criticality. People who create value, they always will have a kitty in their bag. That is, the success will for sure short it will come to you. The next one is that they want the leader to be also be technically good, technical skills. So technical skills also should be there, because if I'm trying to convey my point, my leader should be able to accept or understand whatever I'm trying to convey. Otherwise, what good I'll get doing this? I'll not be able to get a good point. I'll not be able to convey what are the things I want to convey. Because I'll be telling A, the person might be understanding B. So the last 2 points are like they want the collaboration across the company, and the last one is that this is the main point. They want the leader to be a decision maker. They want to collaborate, that is for sure, but they want also the team to have a strong decision maker. As I've told, leadership is not about what others are feeling about you. It's the architecture of decisions you have taken while they were watching you. It is clear that always decision made under uncertainty will have its own risk, but it will give you a such strong hold. Leadership is a lone journey. It is as good as a startup founder's journey. You need to take calls, you need to start taking risks. so that you can start seeing a good outcome. Otherwise, if you're going to become that soft cushion, I'll be that soft person, I'll start absorbing people, I'll start shielding people, I'll start taking care of people, it will not work out. It will not work out for sure, because a leader will always have to project as a strong decision maker. As I've told, the debt starts increasing at a higher rate. Cultural debt, toxic people you're inhabiting, communication debt, you're not able to communicate the vision, the idea, anything. The third thing is that the process, you're building one process for a one person's mistake and spoiling the whole idea of the whole team. The whole team will get punished for that. The fourth one is that, as I told, it is decision debt. Most of the leaders are not taking decision urgency in uncertain area, not thinking through. You should act on inadequate data. You becoming a cushion or a soft sponge, it will not work out. Such a reality. Don't follow, as I've told Simon Sinek, I have an immense respect. I have an immense respect, but the idea of start with why, leaders will eat last, no, it is not correct. You being empathetic, it will be not correct. The circle of safety, it is not correct. Circle of logic is correct. Decision architect is correct. Architecture is correct. Decision integrity is correct. Structural integrity is correct. All these things are correct. As I've also told that Maxwell, John C. Maxwell's servant leadership, it doesn't work out. Patrick Lencioni, his idea of motive will also not work out. Because we are in 2026, the more we start working towards a common goal, that is, whenever you're doing any activity, take out these things: who, what, when. Who is doing this? What is the agenda? And when they can complete it. That's it. If this is the important task, we should get over now itself. Now itself. What is there to do it after a week, after 2 weeks, or after a month? Then it is not a good task. And nothing is important, but something is a priority. Everything can be a priority. That is very much true. And what I've understood, these are the qualities what manager should have, right? But what will it will give? It will start creating community. It will start delivering results. It will start people, developing people, results, people, and community. So, what do we need to do? The 8 qualities of a manager, Google's handbook on the managers, is that the very first quality is that we be a good coach. It is the very idea of be a good coach. The second one is that you always should empower the team and avoid the micromanagement. The third one being that create the inclusive environment where everybody will start feeling that I've been taken care of. The fourth one being that you should be productive. The leader should always be productive. The fifth one being you should be a good communicator. The sixth one being that I'll have a career development. The career development should be taken care of. Career development can be taken care of. My leader should have a technical skill, and then collaboration across the company or like the departments, the strategy maker, and a decision maker. A leader having all these 8 different qualities will yield a higher rate of results. What it will give to delivering result, developing people, and building community. And many a times I have understood, and I always get this question, that are you avoiding confronting? I'll not avoid confronting. As a leader, this is what I've understood over a point in time. If you're avoiding confronting means you start need to paying too much of interest, high interest, and you are going to like literally going to make sure your future execution is not there. Your employees' future execution is not there. You're compromising on that. Literally given up. The second one being always avoiding the decision ownership. Why would I want to avoid my decision ownership? Many leaders, they always, okay, is okay. There are three types of leaders, what I've always told. One, he'll just take or forward all the problems of the organization. The second good leader will always make sure that, okay, he tells the problem and also he tries to give that solution for that. The third great leader, a strong leader, inspiring leader, he solves the problem and tells the people that it's solved, nothing to worry. So assurance is the key skill. Accountability and assurance is the key skill of any good leader. That is period. That is period. Here, the third one being that I'm being a safeguard or like cushion for that one employee. I'm creating the whole process, one system for that employees who are loyal to me and weak employees. I'm not trying to think about the vision of the company. That is again making me to fall short with respect to the things which I've done. The fourth one being that performance review not given timely. If you're waiting to give performance review after a month, after 3 months, 6 months, by that time, what is the ROI for the organization? What is your time's ROI? That you need to always think about. You're just making the company to cost, lose multiple things. What needs to happen? You need to go with a strong sense that manager review, manager approval, senior manager approval, and final approval. This should be the idea. Communicate properly, give a clarity and culture. If there are toxic employees or like they are a sort of a burden to the team, just chuck them out. That's it. The last one being the most asked question to me is that always best performing employees have been have been lifting the weight of weakest employees. This is a commonality. It's a commonality among all the organization. Everybody feels the same thing. I'm working, I'm lifting other person's work. This is very much true. This is very, very much true. Because we think that I can't change that weak employee. I'll just make him to work. I'll not make him to take all the burden. Because of this, you're literally injecting bad virus into the highest performing employee, best performing employees. Such a reality check you need to get. If the best employees have been drained, they're out after 2 p.m. because of overload, they'll think that my experience, my challenges can't be met here. Then they'll unannounced they'll leave. That is the thing which is going to happen in organizations. So you need to start thinking if that person have been given with 2 3 opportunities to prove him or her means by him or her. So then if you can take a collective decision to make sure that okay, he's not good, she's not good, you can leave, because ultimately efficiency proves everything. Efficiency is the key. Efficiency will be the key. So the last summarizing part, what I've learned from my dad, my mentor, and my friend. These three things which I want to tell you. So, as a leader, my leadership architecture, that's why I call myself as a leadership architecture, and people do tell me that I'm a leadership architect. So, my mentor told me, Shiva, your fundamentals, your decision integrity, structural integrity, your architecture, your circle of logic, all should be firm. Don't budge for weak. Always expect high standards. Andy Grove told the same thing. There is no replacement for efficiency. Alan Munali have dictated the same thing. Narayan Murthy have dictated the same thing. multiple leaders for that matter, Sachin Bansal, Binil Bansal, everybody, N. Chandrasekhar of TCS, everybody have proved that there is no replacement for efficiency. You should stand with firmness for efficiency. The second thing, Shiva, means my dad told me this. He calls me Shiv. Shiv, always don't be empathetic. Empathy is a virus. You are getting confused with kindness with clarity. That's a period statement. That's what he told. Kindness is okay, they're bad, they're going through something bad. Kindness is different, clarity is different. You being that okay, I look bad in their eyes, I might look like a tough boss, or like I might be giving them tough decisions or tough instructions. No, here being empathetic, there is no room for it, no room for empathy. He told me, he just put a hand on my shoulder and he was just telling the same thing. Shiv, don't be empathetic. This is a strong world. You need to be a strong person and a strong leader. Don't fall for empathy. My friend, my other friend, means the Navy friend, told me that Shiv, leadership is always about decision making. It's always about decision making. So I'm not embarrassed to tell myself that I've had all this leadership depth. No, I have overcome this by being that firm leader, by fixing my architecture. My architecture is fixed, repaired my architecture. So I happened to repair my architecture where I started showcasing myself that a decision integrity, a structural integrity, and circle of logic matters. So this is a clear-cut instruction for to become a better leader. How you can start transitioning from being a normal to being extraordinary. Fixing small things. As I told, these three lessons from my mentor, my dad, I can say my dad, my mentor, and the same thing. As I told, my friend. So these are the lessons which I learned from them also. The topmost leaders have also advocated for the same thing. Efficiency is the key. Empathetic, don't be empathetic. Decision making. Make quick decisions. Act in uncertain area, uncertain time. Act on inadequate information. That's what the leaders will do. You wait for things to happen at your plate, it will not be. So, as I always say, decision leadership is not about what others are feeling about you. It is the architecture of decisions what you made while they were watching you. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. Thank you.